I always thought my retirement years would be peaceful. I had worked as a high school woodshop teacher in Kansas for 35 years, raised a good family, and built my own little house with my hands. That house wasn't just wood and nails. It was where my wife, Martha, and I built our life. Every scratch on the kitchen counter, every creak in the stairs had a story behind it. Martha passed away 8 years ago. Since then, the house became even more precious to me, like a living scrapbook of our life together. My son Daniel and his wife Claire visited occasionally, but as time went by, their visits grew shorter, their conversations quicker. They lived in the city now, busy with work and their own plans. 2 weeks ago, Daniel called and said he wanted to come by for lunch. That was unusual, but I was happy. I made his favorite, chicken pot pie, just like his mom used to make. When he arrived, he didn't waste time. "Dad," he said, putting down his fork. "Claire and I have been talking. We think it's time you moved into an assisted living facility." I blinked at him, unsure if I'd heard right. "What are you talking about?" "I'm perfectly fine here." "It's not safe for you to live alone anymore," he replied. "The stairs, the yard work, you need care. And besides," he hesitated, "we already sold the house." The words hit me like a punch to the gut. "You what?" "It's done," he said firmly. "We got a great offer. The new owners move in next month." "This is for your own good, Dad." I felt my chest tighten, not just with anger, but with heartbreak. He didn't even ask me. I stayed quiet for a moment, staring at the worn dining table. Daniel had no idea about the basement. The basement wasn't just a dusty storage space. 30 years ago, after a particularly bad tornado season, I had reinforced it and built a hidden section, a small room behind a false wall. Martha and I used to call it the nest. It was where we stored valuable things, her grandmother's jewelry, rare coins I collected over decades, and more importantly, the journals and photo albums of our entire life together. Over the years, I also invested wisely and converted some of my savings into gold bars, stored neatly in a locked chest down there. Daniel had no clue it existed. I never told him because, honestly, I didn't fully trust how he'd handle that kind of money. That night after Daniel left, I went down to the basement with my old flashlight. The air was cool, and the familiar smell of cedar filled my nose. I ran my hands along the brick wall, found the hidden latch, and stepped inside the nest. Everything was there, untouched. I sat in the rocking chair inside the small room and thought about what to do. I could confront him now and cause a fight, but a better plan began forming in my mind, one that would teach him a lesson he'd never forget. The next week, I started packing my upstairs belongings into boxes. Daniel came by, smug and cheerful, thinking I had accepted my fate. I let him believe it. "Dad, you'll love the new place," he said. "It's got a community dining hall, game nights." I smiled politely. "I'm sure it will be fine." Meanwhile, I had already rented a small cabin on the outskirts of town under my name only. I moved my essentials there quietly. As for the valuables from the nest, I arranged for them to be placed in a secure safety deposit box at the bank. By moving day, the house was nearly empty. At least, that's what Daniel thought. The buyers were a young couple from Chicago, excited about starting a family. I handed them the keys with a smile, even as Daniel beamed like he had done me a huge favor. 3 weeks later, I got the call. "Dad!" Daniel's voice was frantic. "We have a problem. The new owners found something in the basement." I kept my tone calm. "Oh? What did they find?" "They found a hidden room. It had gold bars in it. They called the police, and now the whole thing is a mess. The gold is legally theirs now since it was part of the property. Why didn't you tell me about this?" I took a slow sip of my coffee. "Because, Daniel, it's none of your business. And besides, the gold they found was fake, decorative. Martha and I used them as paperweights. Silence on the other end." You mean—" "Yes," I interrupted. "The real valuables are safe with me. I moved them before you sold the house. Did you think I was so helpless I couldn't take care of myself?" For once, Daniel had no reply. I went on. "You sold my home without my permission. That house wasn't just a building. It was where your mother and I built a lifetime. You treated it like a quick deal for profit. So now, you can live with your decision. I have a new place, my memories, and my independence. And you? You have your money from the sale. Spend it how you like. But don't expect anything more from me." It's been 6 months since then. I live quietly in my cabin, spending my mornings fishing at the nearby lake. and my evenings reading Martha's journals. Sometimes I think about Daniel. He calls occasionally, his tone softer now, almost regretful. Maybe one day he'll understand that a home isn't just property, it's history, it's love, it's the story of the people who lived there. And maybe he'll realize that underestimating an old man is the biggest mistake he ever made. Moral: never assume someone is too old to protect what's theirs. Wisdom comes with age, and so does the ability to outsmart those who think they know better.